You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. Thank you for tuning in to The Lyndia Grant Show. We are here this Friday, September the 19th. Next week, fall begins. So we are looking forward to some wonderful weather. And our second guest is the Honorable Councilman Frank Smith, who served the citizens of Ward 1 for 20 years, and he is the founder of the African American Civil War Memorial. He is unveiling a new Lincoln statue. So if you go by the Grimke School, you'll see it covered in plastic. It's already in place, and the ceremony is Monday at 12 noon. I'm sorry, 11 a.m. on Monday the 22nd. Now let's go to Dr. Julian Malvo. There's so much going on with this Charlie Kirk shooting. It's all over the world. I mean, it's a mess. So anyway, Dr. J, talk to the people.
Yeah, it is. It's everybody's talking about it 24/7. If you turn on any of the networks, cable, CNN, Fox, they're talking about. Everybody, of course, has a different take. I'll start by saying the murder is not a political solution to anything. You just don't go around killing people. But as soon as I said that, I think a couple days ago, you know what came to my mind, Lyndia?
What?
Medgar Evers. Medgar Evers.
That's
Dr.
right.
King. So these are not the first time our country has experienced political assassinations. But some seem to get more credit and play than others do. People have just about forgotten Medgar Evers. We very rarely hear him mentioned anymore. But in any case, Mr. Clerk, again, we're sorry that he made his transitions. Sorry at the way he made his transition. And on another day, because I won't do it today, out of respect for, I don't know where this came from, but they say don't disrespect the dead. But this man had views that were very vile. He called black women stupid, et cetera, et cetera. Today is not the day to talk about that. So I'll leave his views alone for now, but simply say that he was provocative. He was very provocative. Like I said, Vice President Vance did his podcast for him on Monday. That's unheard of from the White House, from his office. He did that, and of course they're all in great mourning. And one of the things that the Charlie Kirk thing has really raised questions about is how we talk to each other. I did my radio show on Monday at WPFW called "Let's Talk About Talking," about the ways that we talk. What's hate speech and what isn't? Is it hate speech to call black women stupid, or is it just ignorance? I mean, we could go down the list and talk about the many things that have been said in this current political climate, and this current political climate has been very fraught. But what is hate speech? Because Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, has said that she's going to go after people on the left who have used hate speech. We got hate speech on the left. We got hate speech on the right. I think there's more of it on the right, where they do deny people's very existence. However, having said that, she said she's gonna use the law to go after people. Stephen Miller, who is the author of Project 2025 and a close associate of the president's, he said they're going to come after the left. They're going to come after you. They're going to, what did he say? They'll take your income. They'll take your house. And if you've broken the law, we'll take your freedom. Now, you just have to hold your head and say, what? Because what is hate speech? How do you define it? Different, it's in the eyes of the beholder. But she has said she's going to go after people for this. And the president seems to be obsessed with the radical left. So he keeps talking about the radical left has done this, the radical left has done that. I will just say, well, I'll paraphrase someone I saw on television on Tuesday, and he said there's a radical left and there's a radical right, and the problem is that they're both radical. They're just both too radical. And if you think that killing someone to make a political point is appropriate, then you're wrong. You're just basically wrong. So anyway, Bondi has said she's going after folks. The president is going back after the District of Columbia. The mayor has he has said. The mayor has said that the DC police will not cooperate with ICE. That's basically, so he said if they don't, he's going to declare another um, national emergency and federalize DC. Well, they've been trying to do that since we got the right to vote, and they're trying it. And they introduced 14 bills to take away various aspects of DC home rule, uh, taking away the attorney general. You know, say we won't. They'll appoint the president will appoint our attorney general, not the mayor, not the people through election, and there just a number of other things that they want to do. Um, we need 5 or 6 Republicans with sense, courage, and decency to lean with us. But right now, that legislation hasn't come up. The biggest thing that's happening right now in terms of the Congress is that the September 30th is the date for the government shutdown
Mm-hmm.
unless they cut some deal. And you don't hear hardly anybody talking about that. They're talking about, of course, Charlie Kirk, but a government shutdown. We're already looking at 300,000 Black women who lost their jobs. Now, if you could do a government shutdown, who works for the government? 18% of government workers are African American, and
Mm-hmm.
so they're already absorbing the loss of all those women in their jobs. Will be absorbing more. So this shutdown is something that we need to be paying attention to. The last proposal was they would extend the budget as is until November 30th. So we're back into the pattern of kicking a can down the road to see what happens. Now, I'm really ought to spend a minute on Israel, but then again, I really shouldn't. They have said though they want Gaza. They're going to clear Gaza. They're going to clear Gaza and then repopulate it. What does that mean? The Trump and his family had already talked about Gaza by the Riviera or something like that, making it a beach resort. Well, what about the people? And why are more people not more exercised about this, angry about this?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there is the economy. Two things are going on in the market that's really affecting people. Number one, the labor market. What we know is that the labor market is weakening. Unemployment is rising, and for the first time in a long time, you have more people looking for jobs than there are jobs available.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few more jobs available, and they always say, well, people don't want to work because they haven't applied for these jobs. But we have the flip side here. The other thing that's happening, of course, it's a little early for me to predict or late, but we tape on Tuesdays and Fed will meet on Wednesday. And
Mm-hmm.
so I can't predict what's going to go on, but I do think that we will have a rate cut. I think it'll be a small one. It might be a quarter of a percentage point, maybe half. It's not going to be more than that. This is what the president has been clamoring for all this time. But they're not, it's not going to go, it's not going to happen because the president wants it. It's going to happen because the indicators are there, and the
Mm-hmm.
indicators are there. Really, really great indicators,
Mm-hmm.
really great indicators, and great indicators from the perspective of what are we looking for? And what
Mm-hmm.
I think looking at is a coming recession.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to come tomorrow. I mean, I think we got a few months, maybe 3, 4 months of lag. But we've got more. We, you know, we, yeah, we'll have some months of lag, but we're not going to have the best Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of people who buy toys and all that, those toys come from China. Right now, China has a huge tariff. That's just going to show up in terms of
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the prices. So again, we know that. We know that we have some challenges around the economy. But again, this president who was elected to fix the economy hasn't done that. Instead,
Mm-hmm.
he's been piddling around and going here and taking National Guard here and all that. That does not deal with the basic operation of the economy, and that is the bottom line. Now, as I said, I mentioned Israel in passing, and I only mentioned it in passing. There's a lot to say about Israel. There's a lot to unpack, but we don't really need to unpack that today. Israel is an ever flowing topic, if you will, ever flowing topic. But we are concerned about not only what they want to do with Gaza, but also the coming instability in the Middle East. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we have often supported Israel mainly because they were an economic stabilizer in the Middle East. But now they're attacking people, they're creating chaos. We don't have a stable partner in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Israel attacked Qatar. Now, who knows what Qatar will choose to do back to Israel? So we're skating on a thin ice. That's what I'm
Back
saying.
and forth.
Skating on thin ice, and it's a very challenging situation. Do I have another minute, or am I out of time?
1 minute.
I have 2. 1 minute.
Close to
Okay.
2.
Well, tell me one, because then I'll take more than that.
Yeah, yeah. Just take one.
Okay. Well, okay, I've got that. Yeah, sure. I think the only other thing that's really pressing as we think about moving ahead is that, as you said, it's fall. We are going to see economic changes. That's all I can say is we're going to see economic changes. And
Hmm.
again, my advice to people always, always,
Keep
don't
some
spend
money.
everything.
That's right.
Yeah, don't
You
spend
tell
everything
them
you
that
have.
every week. There you go.
Yeah, and be clear that there are going to be some changes. So always have a plan A, B, C, and D. Always have another
Hmm.
plan. In case one income stream dries up, make sure you have another.
And if they're desperate for toys, they better start shopping now. They better not wait till December.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, Lindy.
Thank you, Dr. J. All right. We're going to go to our commercial break and we'll be back in a moment.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired. But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in." Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it, be inspired.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. You're listening to the Lyndia Grant Show here on Spirit 1340 WYCB. We are back. We're going to our second guest. We told you last week that the Honorable Councilman Frank Smith, who represented Ward 1 for 20 years, I said 16, but it was 20. Plus, he was on the school board, so he owns Ward 1. We call it emeritus. But then he started with the African American Civil War Memorial in 2000. So I started with him on that, and we've been working on that thing for 25 years. So I just thank the Lord. He probably was working on it a couple of years before I came. So let's talk to Dr. Smith because he has a new monument installed. I want you to pick up the Washington Informer newspaper this week. I wrote an article about it. It's a Lincoln statue that's seated out front, I believe. It might be inside, but he'll tell you. But it's going to be
That's right.
dedicated and unveiled. And he's going to tell you about all the plans for Monday. Go ahead, Dr. Smith, Dr. Frank Smith.
Okay. Well, first of all, Lyndia, I'm always glad to be on with you. I, I thank the Lord regularly for our relationship that has lasted 25 years or so. I
Yes,
don't know, maybe longer than that.
yes,
I don't know.
yes.
I've known each other a long time. I
It
watched
was
your kids.
longer. It was longer because of Georgia Avenue Day, because that's how you
Yeah,
met me. So yeah, it was.
and I watch your kids grow up and get grown and have children of their own.
Yep,
And I watch my own kids get out, grow up, and that's a blessing right there, because
it
not
is.
everybody has been spared to stay here all those years. I don't take it for granted.
Amen. Yes, I
That
don't.
that
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't take it for granted. I say thank you every day
Mm-hmm.
to a mighty God who looks out for us all the time. And these
Amen.
little things that don't bother me, like President Trump having these National Guards parading around town, like
Mm-hmm.
little banner chickens on the chicken yard.
Banner roosters.
Uh, Chicken yard. I don't let that upset me either. I
Mm-hmm.
just say, well, this too shall pass away, and
Mm-hmm.
keep on going. So since I talked to you, we have actually placed Abraham Lincoln in the spot where he's going to be in front of
Okay.
the African American Museum. We got him sitting up there right now. He's sitting there, and people who pass there have seen that he's covered with a piece of blue tarp. We
Good.
put the blue tarp
So
up there,
for the
keep him covered.
celebrations,
Right.
like
So we're
we
gonna have
did the memorial, we covered it up.
that's
Mm-hmm.
right. We're gonna have an unveiling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to take place on the 22nd of September, which is about a week or so from now.
A few
Today
days. A few
you know,
days. Monday.
today is September the 16th. Tomorrow is my birthday,
Okay.
September the 17th.
Happy
And
pre-birthday, but we don't air till Friday, which is the 19th.
I know. But I wanted to say that because I have a story about that. But for years, my birthday was September the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was delivered by a midwife in rural Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
The midwife just happened to be my aunt, my dad's sister. She not only delivered all the black babies in that county when I was born in 1942, but she delivered half the white babies too.
Oh,
People
wow.
didn't the midwives, well, white people were poor. They couldn't afford to go to no doctor. And
Mm-hmm.
my aunt was as good as anybody delivering babies, so she delivered all these little babies. They say she caught all them babies, black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and brought them into the world. But anyway, she had my birthday written down someplace on a piece of paper, took it downtown, and recorded it as the 16th of September, is what she told us. When I finally one day when I was trying to get a passport, I realized the birthday was actually the 17th of September.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 41, I had to go back and try to change all my papers, all my passport, driver's license, all that stuff. And every once in a while, at some airport here or there, it catches up with me. And I got 2 different birthdays. And I get stopped at the airport. Last time I was in Georgia, I got stopped trying to come back because of that. But I want to share that because I know I'm not the only one in this audience
Mm-hmm.
who's in our age range,
Mm-hmm.
who was some midwife somewhere, who walked to town 2 or 3 days later with 2 or 3 names written down on a piece of paper. By the time she got there, she said, well, that was Frank's boy right there.
Yeah.
That must be the 16th. I'm not sure about that.
Uh-huh.
So
Write it down. Yeah, they wrote mine down wrong too, Dr. Smith. They wrote my name. My name used to be Linda, but they wrote down Lyndia Cornell, and my mother named me Linda Carroll. But I went for it because I said, Ma, if you don't mind, I like it. And she said, well, that's all on your birth certificate. If you want to keep it, go ahead.
all right, that's what I'm talking about. We learned how to get along in our lifetime, didn't we?
That's
So,
right. Uh-huh.
so I had 2 birthdays there for a while, but you can't get away with that now.
No.
That'll get you stopped at the airport now. So I had
Yes.
to try to get
You
all
had
that
to
stuff straight.
decide one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to straighten all that stuff out. But anyway, yes, I'm happy to be here with you. And on next week, on September the 22nd,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to have a big ceremony out here at the African American Civil War Memorial. I invite the public to join us because that's the day when Abraham Lincoln actually issues the Emancipation Proclamation.
Mm-hmm.
Those historians among us will remember that he waits until we have a military. He actually brought this to his cabinet in July. but he was losing his war. He was battle after battle after battle. He had lost one down here in Manassas. He had lost something over here, some kind of triangle in some rural Virginia. And he finally got what my historian Harry Jones said was a tie, a draw in Antietam, Maryland. This is about 80 miles sort of east of northeast of Washington, D.C. He finally got a tie. Once he got that tie, he considered it a victory. And he said, okay, I'm announcing this proclamation right now. He wrote it, he read it to the cabinet and told the public that he was going to issue it today, September 22nd, give the South 100 days to come back, put down your weapons, stop fighting, come back in the Union. Or if you don't do that, I'm going to sign this thing in January. And in January, paragraph 8 of that proclamation says that formerly enslaved men can now join the Union Army. They will be free and they can join the Army. Not only can they be free themselves, but they can join the Army and help fight to get everybody else free. And so they did. Of course, we get the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Let me just say, because I know there's some people that say, well, why in the world are you doing Lincoln? Abraham Lincoln was a good president. And I think we ought to say this out loud. Yeah. Some presidents are better than others. There have been some good Republican presidents. Let me say that one more time.
Amen. Amen.
I'm sort of a Baptist preacher. Sometimes you have to repeat. We're not repeating. I repeat sometimes because I'm old and I don't remember. When I repeat, sometimes it's for emphasis.
Yes. This is for emphasis.
Trying to emphasize. That's right. That Abraham Lincoln was a good president, and we got him sitting here signing the Emancipation Proclamation. Somebody said a few days ago, they said, well, they got him down on the mall too. He's sitting up in a chair looking presidential and glorious and got a good pose, and he's looking at the public with no expression on his face. We got him signing the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes, it's beautiful.
We got an action figure. One of my guys said, we got an action figure without the batteries. We got him doing something that's worthwhile, which is sad. He got a pen in his hand. He's writing his name on this proclamation. And now, paragraph 8 of that proclamation says, persons of suitable condition can be enlisted in the Union Army. And boy, men started running away from all over the place to join up. Running people who were living outside of America. One good example of that is Benjamin, not Banneker, but the right down the street here, Dunbar High School. Joshua Dunbar was living in Canada. He had run away from Kentucky. He said he would never come back to America again. He had no use for this place. He hated it. He was talking bad against it. When he heard he could join the Union Army, he took off walking, coming back and ended up in Massachusetts because he heard that Frederick Douglass was out recruiting people. So he did what I would have done. What you would have done too, Lyndia. You would have been out there wearing them uniforms on.
I would.
Trying to help do something to fight for our freedom.
I would have done whatever they let the women do, cook or whatever.
You would have done whatever. Like you would have been like Harriet Tubman, you know.
Yes.
Harriet Tubman, they had her on the battlefield out there. She was directing ships. She was not leading no army in the battle, but no foot soldier. She was on a ship pointing to them to plantations that she had visited on foot when she was Underground Railroad. So it's a wonderful story, and this is the story of really what makes America great. This is why people are all running over here from all around the world trying to get into the United States of America. Ain't nobody. Somebody said the other day, ain't nobody trying to run away to get into China. Ain't nobody trying to. People trying to get away.
They trying to get here because it's such a wonderful country. But now we got 4 minutes. I want to make sure you tell them what's happening Monday.
Okay, so Monday we're going to have a celebration out here in front of the African American Civil War Memorial. We are going to unveil this thing. We have some speakers coming to speak with Dr. Edna Medford coming over from Howard University. We've got somebody who's reading the Emancipation Proclamation, a Judge Newman from down in Virginia. We know him as at one time chief judge over there, but now he also has another reason to be famous, and that is that he's married to Mrs. What's her? I can't think of her husband's name, of his wife's name right now, but he's a very famous guy. He's rich and famous, and he's going to read the Emancipation Proclamation. And then we have a group of young kids coming over here. You know, I always got involved some children now.
Yes.
I have 50 young people coming from William Lloyd Garrison elementary school.
They're
going to come up here. They're going to be part of the ceremony. We're going to do something special with them. And in November, when we have our grand opening for the whole building here, those students are going to help us read 200,000 names of all these soldiers that are on our wall. So they're going to get their assignment next week. I'm going to hand those names to them and their teacher and their principal, and they're going to work on it from September to November the 11th when we get ready to have our grand opening on Veterans Day. They're going to be ready to start reading out loud. I say, y'all going to have to read loud now, get real, because people got to hear you everywhere, all over the country. And all. So we always involve children. When you and I were together, we had a whole school over there, Garnett Patterson School. But we got another school now, and a few more students that go right there.
Yes.
And we're working with them too. So we've been blessed to make this thing a reality. The mayor's done a lot to help us get the money we needed, and we're behind schedule a little bit, but now we caught up and get ready to make some noise. So come on out to join us at the African American Civil War Memorial. 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest, 11 a.m. on September the 22nd. Look forward to seeing you there. Have a good time.
That's this Monday coming. So we thank you. Give them the telephone number in case they want to call and ask some questions. 202-667-2667.
That's correct. You still remember the phone number, Lyndia?
Now, I put the number in all these years ago. I had to contact Bell Atlantic, probably, wasn't even Verizon, and get the number put in. Yes, sir. I remember that number.
Yep. That's still the number. We still answer it, and we'll be here. We're looking forward to seeing all of you out here on the 22nd of September, which is next week.
And if you updated the website, do you want to tell them, or if they just got to write this down?
Well, the website is afroamcivilwar.org. AFROAM civilwar.org. All the information is up there. Or you can call the number we gave you, 202, or you can call my cell phone, 202-369-5119.
That's
202-369-5119. That's my cell phone number. I don't always do that, but I trust you and the people on your show. You can
that's a lot of listeners, though.
I know it is.
but we thank you for being our guest today. And people can pick up the Washington Informer. They'll see a picture of it online. They always put my picture in the paper, but online there's a column, and I'll send it to you. Y'all can send it around to help get the word out. So on my show Friday and in the newspaper, we'll be talking about this. And we thank you for being our guest this week.
Sure. I always glad to talk to you. You know that. You look great. So keep up the good work.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. That does it for this week. Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.